This car beat a Lamborghini in a drag race. On top of beating a Lamborghini, this has paddle shifters? What are those doing here? This is a 1-speed transmission. The Kia EV6 GT all-wheel drive. Kia? Yeah. The goal for this video is to help you figure out, is this the right car for you when you're out shopping? This is a $62,000 car, so it's a big decision. My name is Cam. I've been working on cars for over 10 years, been an enthusiast all my life, driven everything from Priuses to Porsche GT3 RSs, and I'm just excited to share my passion for cars and give you an idea of what this car is all about, show you around. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you the biggest complaint with this car and then really nail down who this car is for so you know if it's for you or not for you. I've had this car for 6 days now. I got the keys from Kia for 7 days, and I'm more excited to make this video on the 6th day than I was on the 1st. That's because I've been driving every day. I've had to take it to a charger quite a few times because I've just been driving it so much just to try and learn everything I can about this car, because this is the first EV that I've had the keys to for a decent amount of time, so it's been a learning experience. But I've been in enough Teslas and other things to understand kind of what it's all about. It's an interesting looking car, and the first thing on the exterior I want you to know is that it's smaller than you think, but also spacious. So I'm gonna have a clip editor Justin throw in of a Kia Soul pulling to the front of this to give you an idea, but this is just a big hatchback, but very spacious compared to normal hatchbacks because it has a battery, no transmission tunnel. Before we dive into the inside, which is my favorite part, let's talk about the powertrain. What makes this car go fast? What makes it so special about being a GT? Let's pop the hood and check out the engine, shall we? Psych, there's no engine. This is an electric vehicle. It doesn't have a motor, but it has cooling system up here, a 12-volt battery for electronics, brakes and such under there. This car has 546 pound-feet of torque, 577, I believe, horsepower, 2 motors, front and rear, all-wheel drive, and it's got some big old wheels on it, and some big old Eagle F1 tires from Goodyear. These are 21-inch wheels, and these boys are grippy. We took it to the back roads, which we'll touch on that a bit later. Let's look at the key. I really like this key because this placement for locking it is pretty cool. Unlock, hold it for the hatch horn, little thing to pop the key out. But this is interesting. You hold the top to get the car remote started, get the AC going and such. I'm gonna put a POV clip from filming with my GoPro earlier because it doesn't like this parking lot, but it's just a simple key nonetheless. The thing that makes this car exterior look sleek, in my opinion, besides its futuristic looking rear end and tail light that goes all the way across, and when you see one out in the wild, you'll see these red lights go all the way across. But the thing that does it for me, 2 things actually. Roof spoiler, this is like LED underneath that looks cool at night. The door handles, when it's locked and you're driving it, it goes in and it becomes part of the body. And that's what I think makes this car look very expensive. The roof spoiler, the rear end, 21-inch wheels, nice tires, door handles that disappear. That'll make a car look real expensive real quick. Hit the unlock button, come in here, and then you have these rad GT seats. They're like bucket style, but they don't feel like a bucket seat. Easy to get in and out, super comfortable, green stitching everywhere, GT button there for you, drive mode button, Meridian surround. Sounds pretty good. Great mids and highs. Could be a little bit better on the low end, but it works great. Tons of room on the floor for your feet since you have the battery, no trans tunnel. Then you got this big old pocket down here. I love that thing. And the cockpit on this car is amazing. This center console, it holds itself. There's no click, which I love. And a huge pocket, infinite storage, wireless charger, cup holder, little spot for keys and such. You've got these like green lines and you got green lights at night, which are super cool. But this command center, of turning it on here, gear changer, auto hold, the parking assist on and off, the camera button, heated seats and steering wheel. I wish Kia would have went a little sportier with this steering wheel shape, but man, oh man, I think I understand why they went with it. It's so comfortable to drive. You can sit with your hand like this, like this. You don't have like anything here to be in the way, so you can like chill like this, chill up here. Steering wheel controls, all the norm, the paddles for the regenerative braking we'll get to touch in a bit. Normal stuff. USB port, Apple CarPlay, USB-C there. A cool GT badge right there, and this awesome texture for the dash I love. You've got the texture right here. These GT seats just look rad, and they're just so comfortable. Let's open up the hatch. This is where all the space is because you don't have a frunk. You have that little pocket you saw up front. This is a little itty bitty tripod. You can get an idea of the amount of space. It's got this sunshade for privacy as well. That's easy to put in and out, which is cool. You don't have to like pull it out and set it anywhere. It just rolls up. And then you go under the mat and you have this little pocket here. We have our V2L adapter in here. Vehicle to load. So what you can do is plug in an extension cord or any type of plug and power something from your vehicle. This is a tire mobility kit. If you get a flat, it's got everything you need to fix it instead of a spare tire. So a good amount of space. Getting groceries, maybe a piece of furniture, put all the seats down. You see this bling right here? It's pretty unique. Let's pop in the rear seat, which I think for a hatchback of this size, smaller than you'd think, but plenty big, is look at the amount of legroom. It is insane. I am 6'1", and my seat is in the position for someone that's 6'1", and I have a ton of legroom. I mean, I could spread, man spread right here fully. Tons of room in the center for another passenger. You can fit someone in the center, so you can fit 5 people. You have this armrest. This moves in and out, which is cool for cups, or you need to store random stuff. 2 USB-Cs, and right here is a plug, a wall outlet. Once you unlock it with the key for child safety. One thing I love about the back seat of this is you have the vents right here. Awesome. Such a better spot than down here. Just a good back seat. Alcantara leather combination. You got these 2 rad bucket style seats to look at. Big sunroof that'll open. The on sequence. Hold this down. This comes on up here. Let's go ahead and open up the sunroof. Just the shade part. This is what your control center looks like. If you swipe down, you can get to the AC controls. And what's cool with auto climate is you can do 1, 2, or 3. So it's like intense, get it down to 78 degrees as fast as possible, or get it down a little on the slower side, a little less blower. It keeps the car quieter. So when you're driving, talking to a friend, or talking to me on video, I can get the car down to the right auto climate, but not blow out all the audio and everything else like that. Keep the car quieter if you're having a quiet conversation. Let me plug in my phone to show you what the Apple CarPlay screen looks like, because that's all you care about these days. Am I wrong? One thing to keep in mind about this control center is it always defaults to the radio and the media. So I'm gonna hit media. That's how I get to my Apple CarPlay. But if I want to do the AC control, I got to swipe down every time. So sometimes you got to swipe down, but you see how I just did that? You just got to get used to swiping down, doing all your controls, and then it will default back to the radio controls, which can also be controlled from up here. So I don't reach back and forth too much. And when I do reach down here, it's usually primarily for the AC. So I'll swipe down and control it. Small thing, but everyone loves the center console. It feels like a Mars rover spaceship. How cool. Park in the middle, drive to the right, reverse, left, neutral, middle. It's like spring-loaded. Frameless, rear view mirror, garage buttons on the bottom, super chill. No button to turn the lights on and off. You have a button right here to turn them all on. So these are all on with a button for the whole car at night. Really easy to get to, or you do the one with your hand movement. Microphone right here for phone calls. It works great. The thing about this car too is that the doors, they're just heavy for an EV. They feel stout. Now what blows passengers' minds that have ridden here is they go to adjust their seat and they're like, they're manual seats, they're not auto, they're not like a button. Why would they do that? You gotta pump it physically. I gotta hold the thing to move my thing back. It's not, well, in sports cars, weight is everything, and this is the GT model, so they're saving some weight. In an electric car, you want to save all the weight you can too, so you can get as much range as possible, because that is something you have to consider. So is it a big deal not to have electric seats? No. Does it mean that a $60,000 car is a hunk of junk because it doesn't have electric? No, it means that you're saving weight so you can go faster, because we bought the GT model for a reason, and you're just getting more range too. But let's talk about the screen up here before we start driving. Battery bottom left, your regenerative braking levels right there. Let's see if I can adjust them with the paddles. Yep, level 1, 2, 0, and then we go back up all the way to max. iPedals on. You got your range right here. You got how many miles are on the car right there. You got what's going on in front of you, the drive mode. So it is already in drive. I can see with this orange right here, the wireless charger if I need it. Got it plugged in. Wipers right here. Blinker normal. I love how normal this car is, but futuristic. Let's go ahead and go for a drive. It's pretty quiet. I do like the sound it makes though. When you're driving around, it's like, ooh. You know, I'm new to electric cars. I know what Teslas make. I know the sound that they make. But this one has its own unique little taste. Let me see if I can turn the AC off. I'm gonna turn it up for you. Woo, it's hot here in AZ. That's enough of that. Let's go for a drive. So the drive mode, you click it. It shows you all the drive modes right there. Eco, normal, and sport. Let's put it in eco, super smooth. That's actually what I drive in the most, of course. It's not slow by any means, but it's a lot slower than GT mode. I repeat, a lot. But it's easy to drive. With an electric car, if you're new to it like me, you just do most of your driving with your right foot because of the regenerative braking. It's the weirdest thing. But once you get used to it, it's super smooth and simplifies the driving process, which was crazy in the back roads. I'll make sure that video is linked in the description, because normally when you would drive with your left foot to do left foot braking and professional driving things that I went to school for to understand and learn how to do and become proficient at, it really just converts it to one foot. You're like on the gas, off the gas, and when you let off, it's actually applying the brakes. It's the most interesting thing. But in a day-to-day situation, it also simplifies things. This is the most simple yet intense car I've ever driven. And I know you will feel the same. That's with most electric cars, but why I tell you it's simple, it feels so similar to a normal Kia, but way nicer than normal, with the simplest one-speed transmission, electric powered, no sound. You're really only driving with your right foot. And when I put auto hold on, I don't even have to use it. I just come to a stop and it stays. So now I'm just gonna chill here and let my foot hang out until I need to go. So if you're the type of person and you have a lot on your mind, you got a lot to think about all the time, you like to think in your head, have deep thoughts, this car is as simple as it gets and it's great for that. So get on the gas, this is floored in eco. Let's slow down. Now let's go in normal. Whoa, it's quite a bit faster. Normal, this is normal. Let's put it in sport. This is where it gets real quick. Green light. Tripod flies at the back. See you later. Next thing you know, in a couple yards, we're up to 60 miles an hour at one point. The interior and driving this car feels like a combination, in my opinion, of a Lincoln and a Cadillac with a sports car steering feel. The wheel can get stiff when you're cornering, which is nice. The tires are good. You can feel the road. The car's very planted to the ground with the all-wheel drive, especially in the back roads. It's crazy. And the weight of the battery and everything just makes for a super grippy experience between the all-wheel drive and the weight of an electric vehicle. It is just absolutely crazy how fast you can get going. And the whole car just whoop, and then you get on the brakes, it's like whoop, just nosedives. It's pretty, feels like a roller coaster. But because of the all-wheel drive, you can round corners at a rate of speed on the throttle a lot more than what people are used to and ready for. And it actually pulls G's in places that my body's not used to. Parker, Braxton, and myself, we all felt sick after we took it to the back roads. It was the weirdest experience driving this car in a fast setting. Sick of this tripod rolling around in the back. Holding the button, it'll actually close it from up here too, which is nice, but you gotta keep holding the button. All right, we got a clear road. We're not making any noise, we're not disturbing anyone. Ready, wanna push this. GT mode, green, engaged. Make sure all my stuff is strapped down because we're about to pull some G-forces. This is when I would normally tell passengers to put their head against the headrest because their neck's about to get snapped. Turning right onto this road, we're gonna floor it in GT mode. Let's watch the speedometer, and we're off. Tires screeching. 70 miles an hour, that fast. Woo! It's actually so fast, it's exhausting, and it sucks energy out of you. I'll throw in a POV pull, and we're out. Oh. Straight jump right here. Woo! Dude, that's crazy. It actually grips good. Oh! Bro, this feels so weird. Yeah, like there's no noise right now. Dude, I can freaking feel like the blood in my head like shifts from one side to the other. Back in eco we go. I'm gonna get back to the parking lot and tell you who I believe this car is for and who it is not for, and then the biggest complaint about this vehicle. Let's talk about the most valuable part of this episode is figuring out who this car is for and who it's not for. You can learn the most from who it's not for, but let's talk about who it's for. And then I want to tell you my biggest complaint. This car is for people who want to get around town, not use gasoline, and get around town quick. You might like hatchbacks a lot and the styling. You like to have all that space in the back seat and just have a big car feel with a small car footprint. This car is just that. It's just a really, really, really nice large hatchback with some baller wheels, tires, and brakes. Nice interior feel, and you just like nice things, and you want to have a car that kind of makes you feel like you're driving a Mars Rover, but at the same time still feel like a normal car. You don't need to have some crazy Hummer EV. You still want to blend in with regular people and just, you know, have a nice car. This is the car for you. If you need to haul 2 to 4 people around regularly and some stuff in the back, this car is for you also. But let's talk about who this car is not for. If you need to drive far out of town on a regular basis and this is your only car, you are not gonna be happy. This is a enthusiast-based car. The GT model, it's very quick, very fast, has a lot of nice features, but there's a lot better range options out there when it comes to an EV. So you might not be too happy, but if you don't need to go out of town, you'll be all right. If you have to haul more than 4 people around on a regular basis, maybe it's your kids and their friends, it's gonna be a little tight sometimes and you can only fit 5 people. And if you need 6 or more, this ain't gonna do the job, even though it might be something that's super tempting and fun. I would be careful. But if you just like hatchbacks, you want something modern but still just a normal car, you will enjoy this. But let's head over to the back and talk about the biggest complaint about this car. I haven't shown this yet in the episode. Push right here. This opens the charging port at home, and then you pull this out for a supercharger to charge it really quickly. This button right here, close it. But this is the biggest downfall of this car, is the charging network is not as good as others. Which, if you need to rely on chargers if you're going really far commute and you maybe don't have a full battery or you're driving out of town, your trip's gonna be planned quite a bit different, especially if you're new to getting into EV cars. Do your research and just download the ChargePoint app and just go look around and sort it by your car that you're thinking about getting and the superchargers around. And there's only one actual supercharger near my house, and it kind of made it annoying to drive this car a lot. And then I went last night and I had to wait 15 minutes before I could even get to the charger and another 30 to get to 8%. So it's interesting. But if I could charge it every night at home and drive it around, this car's a blast. Now, you might be having pessimistic thoughts about this car. You're like, wow, that is such a cool car, but the downfall is just not worth it. I'll tell you this, I'm a car enthusiast. I love gasoline. I love my manual gearboxes. But this car, I drove every single day I had it over my gas cars for everything 20 minutes or less away. I loved driving. It was fun. It was quick. I didn't have to wait for the motor to warm up. It's a nice feel inside. It's very quiet inside. It feels nice. So if you could charge it every day, it's not your primary car, or you have a significant other with a gas car to take out of town, you guys are going to love taking this. Me and my girlfriend took it out to dinner, errands, everywhere. We never ran out of space. We got around quick. We had a blast getting there. The back roads were cool too, if that's your only car to take to the back roads. If you don't have a sports car, but you want a sports car, but you can't really get your significant other to get a sports car, this is kind of a wild time in the back roads if you just go there and back, if they're somewhat close to your house. So keep all of those things in mind. This is an interesting car. I think a lot of people will love it. So what I recommend when you're out hunting for a car, pick 2 or 3 from online videos that you think could be hits. Go see them, go feel them, go drive them, go smell them, go see what they're like behind the wheel. Whichever one makes you feel the best and checks all the boxes for your lifestyle, that's probably the one. Don't force it. Don't feel like you're like, I have to figure out if this is it right now. You need to go drive them in person, so go check those out. If you're interested in a car that's gas powered with a similar size, I have a CX-30 video right here on the screen. I'll see you over there.